Hey everybody, I'm Jeffrey Ross, Side Gig Guy, and this is the first installment of a series of videos that I'm going to do where I'm going to talk about how I became a DoorDasher. Not like instructional videos, but more or less kind of the story of my life, because I realized as I was setting up this video I couldn't just say how I started DoorDashing without explaining all the steps that led up to this. You've heard that saying before, where everything that's happened in your life up to this point has prepared you for what comes next. So we're going to start in the 1980s. All right, so the 1980s. I was 12 years old at the beginning of the 80s. My parents had just gotten divorced after 23 years of marriage. And rather than act like a 12-year-old about it, which would have been bad enough, I decided I'd start acting like a 3-year-old and testing my mom's boundaries. I did this by skipping school, running around with the bad crowd, and running away from home on regular occasions. You know, looking back, I think to myself, I was probably just trying to get my mom's attention more than anything else. But like my dad, my mom cared a lot about working, and she was very focused on work. So anyway, this continued for a few years until I turned 16, and then I took the big leap. I stole my mom's car, I stole her credit card, and I ran away from home in her car, and I wrecked her car. This landed me in a foster home with the Doties, Mark and Caroline. And this is while I was living in Colorado, and I spent the ages of 16 to 18 in this foster home with my foster brothers, and it changed my life. It changed the direction of my life, I should say, as because I was born again when I lived there, became a born-again Christian. And I also learned responsibility and accountability for my age. I am still only 18. And when I got out of the foster home, I got probably what was the best job of my life. I was working at Domino's Pizza as a pizza delivery driver. I really, at that point, had never been happier. I loved delivering food to people. Funny how things like that work out. But it didn't work out for too long. Before the end of that decade, I had lost that job, but I wanted to pursue a career in law enforcement. But I needed to have graduated from high school, which I dropped out when I was in the foster home and just decided I wasn't going to go. Interesting how I hacked all the computer systems there too. I was kind of like that nerd from 16 Candles. No, not that one, the other one. And a little bit of Matthew Broderick. Except I hacked the computer system by just being inside the school and working in the office and changing the attendance sheets. Anyway, I graduated with a GED. And I know a lot of people I've worked with probably didn't realize that I was a 9th grade high school dropout and only finished high school by taking a test when I turned 18. I decided that law enforcement wasn't right for me, but I did like being a security guard at the mall in Boulder, Colorado. So I did that up until, well, I met my wife.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
That's for the next installment.